Hey, what's up, lifewithoutpants here with another Path of Exile video, and in today's video we're going to talk about Harvest. We've been doing a Harvest test on stream, and we did 50 maps with a control group and an experimental group. And what we wanted to know was, is it possible to juice the unique monsters in Harvest, so that's the T4 seeds, in order to get more life force out of them. So I was using this is the control group. I'll go over the Atlas tree very quickly. So we're basically taking everything Harvest. We're taking all the shrine stuff, especially all the glitters here. So you get shrines have 10% increased chance to be a covetous shrine. That's one of the few sources of player quant, but we already knew that player quant didn't really affect Harvest. We're taking the Nico stuff so that we can get a few Nico shrines in the map. It just helps it make it easier. We're taking Eldritch Gaze, Rampant Growth, and Shadow of Hunger, so we can increase the quant in the area, because Harvest, we know for sure, is the life force is juiced by pack size and by area quant, not by player quant. So we're taking all of that. We're taking the quant wheels here, and we are taking Wild Drought and Primal Drought, so that we can try to get as much yellow life juice as possible, because that's the most expensive one. We're taking a few Scarab nodes just to get some additional juice, but we're also taking these increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps, because that really increases the pack size. All of these have an effect on the pack size in your map. I think we have 60% increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps. So if we have 100 pack size, then that'll bring it up to 160%. So it's very, very, very useful. This is the setup that we were running. So we have an 8 mob map in both setups. This is the control group here. So we were using just a 8 modded Jungle Valley. Jungle Valley we're using because the boss is not spawned at the beginning of the map. So that means that all of the Eldritch altars we get will not have the map boss downside, and that means that we're much more likely to get increased area quant altars. So we're taking an 8 mod Jungle Valley. We're taking a Harvest Scarab of Cornucopia, which means we get a T4 seed of each type if possible. So if you have all yellow plots, then you're not going to be able to get a purple or a blue T4 seed. You'll only get one yellow unless you get a naturally occurring T4 seed for the other ones. We're taking the Harvest Scarab of Doubling because it's double. It just makes it much cheaper. And then we're taking Monstrous Lineage, and we're taking a couple of Sacrifice fragments as well, because these increase area quant by, I think, 5%. So this is the control. So we round this, and then I wanted to swap these 3 out for something else that would juice up those unique monsters. So I chose the Titanic Scarab, because this means that unique monsters have increased toughness, damage, rarity, and quantity of items per 1% increased pack size of area. And some of these maps, we'll do one in just a second, they have an incredible amount of pack size, in between 60 to 80%. We're taking the Scarab of Wisps, so monsters in the area have a chance to be empowered by 2,000 Wildwood Wisps, and frequently those T4 seeds were empowered by a couple of 1 or 2 empowers from the Wildwood Wisps, and that, one of them gives increased quantity. And then the Titanic Scarab of Legend, and that means unique monsters have 2 additional monster modifiers, because I figured maybe if they have a lot more monster modifiers on them, they have increased quantity as well. So let's just chuck these in here, and we were using just increased quant of area of the area, because that's going to give us just another 8% boost on our quant. So the way I ran these maps is I would just jump in, and if the Wildwood was around, I would do it, but we've actually found the Harvest straight away, but I would just run around, try and spawn as many Eldritch altars as possible. So I'd actually clear the map. Oh, and a Valdos, nice. If there was a Bismuth, like, at the moment we've got Verisium, but if there was a Bismuth, then I would take that. And I would just take as many of the Eldritch altars as I could find, click on the shrines as well, and that would usually generate we would get from, right now we've got 222% increased item quantity, but we've got 73% increased pack size. But this would frequently get to, you know, almost 300% increased item quantity just due to getting all the Eldritch Altars. We haven't got any Eldritch Altars so far, so this, oh, we got one here. And here we get another 19%, so this is going up to 241% increased quantity. And usually I would say we get around 3 or 4 of these quant shrines per map. And I'm just going to skip all that stuff and then go straight back to the harvest. So once I clear the map, I'll go into the harvest. And then you can see here we've got Jannar the Omen, and then we've got some other thing here. We've got Namharim, Born on Night. I hate this guy. This guy's so annoying. But then you have to choose amongst all your plots which ones you're going to take. And obviously the priority is yellow first, then blue, then purple, because that's the order of how expensive stuff is. With this here, so you see you've got one Primal Rex Matriarch and one Jannar the Omen. Something interesting I found is that this Jannar the Omen is not a sort of, it's not a, I think, a natural resident of the map, because it's forced by a Scarab. And that means this pack size over here, this 73% increased pack size, this means that it's a 73% chance that one of these these monsters will be doubled. The pack will be turned into an increased pack size. So if we take, say, for example, this here, there's 2 Wild Hellion Alphas, and it's a 73% chance here. There's a fairly good chance for this to happen. But if we see here, here's the first wave of monsters. That's the T4, then there's the second. And then here we've got, here we have actually 3 lots of, this you can see one, these are actually doubled here. So this is from doubling season, so 10% chance to be duplicated. But we had 1, 2, and 3 of these drops from the T3 seeds. And that's because the pack size has doubled these. And this works on the monsters you get regularly in Harvest. So if you just find a Harvest monster, then it's got... you know, there's a 73% chance that, say if I take this one, there's a 73% chance that this Vivid Vulture will turn into 2 Vivid Vultures. With these, it doesn't work. So when I take this one, there's, you know, it's a 73% chance, a very high percent chance, but it's not going to work because it's not. It's because it's been forced by the Scarab, or at least that's what it appears to be to me. So here we see we've only got one boss, and I think, I'm not sure if it's a bug, but it would certainly be quite good if it did happen. But you can see here I got this one here, and then this one as well. So I actually got, there was only one T3 seed before, but I got 2 T3 monsters, and they both doubled their drops. But then this one, 1202 Primal Crystallized Life Force, it only affects the natural Harvest monsters. Anyway, so this is how we've been running the maps. Let's talk about the results. All right, and so for the control group, this is a control group. We got 3 Abomination maps, like a lot of maps. You do get a lot of maps from this strat. We got 20 Sacred Blossoms, so that's a fair amount. And then we got 137,604 Crystallized Life Force, the Vivid. We got 101k of the Primal, and then 80k of the Purple Juice. And we also, you know, other notable drops, we got 4 Divines. We didn't get any Valdos with this, but we did get one of these Avian Pursuits. We also dropped an 9 Hours Memory, but it was not the good one. And so this is with just the Sacrifice Fragments and the regular Harvest Scarabs. Now, as you can see, if I just flick between this and this, you can see the difference. So there's a huge difference just in the number of items, the raw items like maps and stuff like that. But this is, and also these unique items. So this, we got so many Abomination maps. We got a lot of T17 maps using this with the 3 extra Scarabs that we were using. So all those unique monsters, they dropped a ton of stuff. They dropped so much extra stuff. We got so many other like very decent uniques. We got, you know, Replica Dragon's Fang. Oh, let's ID it for the video. Is it going to be amazing? It's a perforate. Well, we got a few other things. We got an Arakali's Fang. We got, you know, a couple of these Prism Guardians. We got a Cloak of Flame. We got some of these Heat Shivers as well. And we got a Jinx Juju too. But we got a lot of extra sort of higher tier uniques with the second strategy, with the experimental group. We got 3 Valdos puzzle boxes. I'm not sure that's related, but we also got more Sacred Blossoms, but I think Sacred Blossoms are just a 15% straight drop rate. I don't think that they are related to the Scarabs at all. But the interesting thing comes with the Life Force. Now, as you can see, we got a little bit more yellow. We got less. We got a little bit more blue as well, but we got a ton extra, a ton less on the Wild Crystallized Life Force, the purple. So if we just bring up our calculator here, and in fact, I have some stats that we can check out. Here is the Atlas tree. I'll put this down in the description below. And we can take a look at our stash tabs here. So if we look at the experimental, the control group rather, then we can see that we got 137, 604. In yellow, we got 101, 612 in blue, and 80, 216 in purple. So that brings out to 319 in total, and then we divide it by 50, so it's 6,388, and this is our control group. And then we bring up another one, then we can have a look in the second set here. So this is the experimental group, so we've got 145,616 plus 106,750, 106,750 plus the world was 66,486, so 66,486, and then divided by 50. Oops. Can I control Z? I can't. Okay, using the magic of editing. Editing. So we've got this number. You can double check the math if you would like to. And then if we divide it by 50, so we get 6,377. So these two numbers are incredibly close. Incredibly close. Worryingly close. But this is, you know, it's a fairly big juice sample size. Whilst the map sample size is pretty low, only 50 each. This is the juice sample size is, you know, it's not hundreds of thousands. And this conclusively shows me that if you juice the uniques, the T4 monsters, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Or at least nothing happens to the juice. Now, as you can see here, the amount of extra uniques you get is crazy. The amount of extra maps and things you get is also pretty crazy. So if we go and have a look at our Wealthy Exile here, with the first one, with the control group, we've got 78 div total. And if we remove these things, the harvest specific things, then the filter, the items that remain on the filter are 15 div worth of items. So that's, you know, fragments that, oh, not fragments because of the Sacred Blossom is technically a fragment, but, you know, scarabs, maps, that kind of stuff. And if we look at the second one, it's 25 divines with the harvest stuff taken out. And, you know, we've got loads of abomination maps. We've got 9 abomination maps, and we only got 3 in the previous one. We've got a bunch of Valdos. We've got an Enlighten as well, which dropped. We got you know, Chaos Orbs. We've got 39 city square maps, which is my favorite map. The one I have favorited in the experimental group, and we only got 32 in the regular group. And if you look at the number of unique maps in these as well, maybe that's something we can actually show here. Yeah, so in the experimental group, there's a lot of them, and in the in the control group, there's very few. There's very few, but here there's loads. I mean, we got almost as many you know, Hall of Grandmasters maps in the experimental group as we did total unique maps in the control group. So there is a huge difference. But it seems like the juicing uniques is not useful for harvest, and I should have known about the wisps, because it turns out I actually made a video about this in Affliction, and I just forgot. And I'll put a link to that video up right here. But yeah, I definitely made that video and I completely forgot about it. But the amount of juice you get is comparable. So these maps take around, this is the one I did whilst we were recording the video. It didn't take 5 minutes 38 seconds. It was talking and that kind of stuff. But these maps take in between 4 and 5 minutes for the experimental ones, and in between 3 and 4 minutes for these ones, because these ones are much easier. Some of the uniques in the T4 seeds in the experimental group are very difficult to kill. Like, I died quite a lot because they drop just a ton of stuff at the end. I have this, the amount of unique rings I have for dust is very high, and it's because of all of the experimental group maps. As you can see, the uniques are crazy, but for the rest of it, for the harvest juice, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So if you want a lot more unique maps or T17 maps, then and you want a lot more, if you're jackpotting, then I would definitely recommend going for the experimental version of this strat. But if you just want to juice harvest real quick, just go fast and get a lot of harvest stuff, then I think this is just a very solid strat. I have a little, let's go and check out the currency, or the costs and returns, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so let's talk about the costs and the returns. So for the control group, we're using these. Sacrifice fragments are very cheap. I think I paid around 100 C each, 100 C total for all of them. I think the Harvest Scarab, Cornucopia, and doubling have gone up a bit because the cost of yellow life juice is on the rise because it's the end of the league, or maybe the middle of the league. Who knows? It's not the first 2 weeks of the league anymore, so people are gambling lots of div cards. But it costs 87 C invested per map, which is quite a lot. It's on the upper end of investment for T16 maps at least, and we're pulling out just in very, very easy to liquidate stuff, around 247 chaos per map. And maybe if you just remove this as well, then it comes out at around 200. So these things you can just sell on Faustus like that. So 200 that you can just get rid of immediately, and then around a little bit extra that you might want to keep for yourself or just sell on the regular trade site. So you're looking at profit per map at around 160 chaos, which is insane. And these maps you can do in 3-4 minutes, depending on the build you have. And if you could do it in 4 minutes, which is somewhat conservative as far as I'm concerned, then you're looking at 18 divines an hour. And you could say 16 div an hour. That's easily liquidizable. 15 div, let's say 15 div an hour that you can just chuck on Faustus, and it comes back to you in money. And then for the experimental group, then we're investing a bit more because we're using the Scarab of Wisps, Titanic Scarab, Legend. These cost a little bit more. I think the Wisps Scarab has gone up a bit because of Snooze, most recent strats. So we're investing 93 C per map in these, and then the returns are pretty similar except for the other section, and we're getting 271 chaos back per map in returns, and our per profit map is 178. You can say 180 chaos, around, let's say 175 chaos. So 175 chaos per map, but these are taking a bit longer because the uniques are a lot more tanky, so they're going to take a bit longer to focus down. And because of that, it's going to take you like 5 minutes maybe to run these maps, and that's going to bring it down to around 16.5 div an hour. So ironically, juicing the maps further reduces the profit. So for this strat, I would stick absolutely with just the control group here, just rip through the map, maybe even take these two things out, or maybe the Monstrous Lineage thing out and put a different, maybe a Sacrifice fragment in or something else. Maybe just some Shrines nodes to make it much quicker. But this is what it looks like. So honestly, this is an incredibly good farm for currency, especially towards the end of the league now because the cost of yellow juice is going up so fast. I think because of the interaction of pack size and these forced T4 seeds, I think that it might be better to do crop rotation, and I think that's going to be the thing I test out next. So maybe we'll check out crop rotation and see where we land, but that's it for this video. I hope it's been useful. I'm going to put this spreadsheet down in the description. I'm going to put the Atlas tree as well. But with that said, I hope this has been a good video for you, and I hope you are kind to everyone you meet. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.